We are currently heading into the 5th of September 2021. Some of the main points, of course, we're tracking Invest 94W out there today. Still got questions on the track and the strength, but things are starting to come together. That does indicate possible development out here, and it has actually been a month since our last named storm system here in the Western Pacific. That was Tropical Storm Omar. So it has been quite some time. By the way, you might notice I'm looking down from time to time. It's because I'm controlling the screen here, just a little bit different on the way I make these updates, and hopefully they are that much better for you. All right, let's take a look at the satellite picture here across the Western Pacific. Of course, there is our invest area located right there just around Guam, and really upper level low right in here, kind of shearing it off just a bit. That's why it looks like a lot of the convection's just towards the east of where I was pointing here originally, is because of that upper level low kind of pushing that off there, and even got some convection back there towards the west in the Philippine Sea, and thunderstorms over the Philippines, all thanks to a bit of a surface trough there as well. Water vapor imagery also gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. There's that convection with the moisture moving over Guam, but you can kind of see that cloud right in there. That is that upper level low shearing it off just a bit. So it has to overcome that before it gets to a point where we have to be terribly concerned for rapid development, just because that shear coming in off of it. You can see all that convection there setting up just towards the east of Guam as well. That means that as we go ahead through Sunday, I mean already here on Saturday, Guam is seeing thunderstorms, but as we go ahead into Sunday, Guam is going to be seeing that much more in the form of precipitation. And over towards Monday into Tuesday, it does look like a little bit of that is going to back off. Temperatures will be into the high 20s to low 30s throughout the rest of the week. So it's just this weekend, I think, really the messier part as far as some gusty coastal conditions along the eastern seaboard and that risk of rip currents as well. Be sure to check out the Guam National Weather Service if you are there, you plan on visiting there or anything like that, because they do a fantastic job. A big shout out to you guys at the Guam National Weather Service. Despite the fact that I applied for a job there multiple times, you guys are doing a good job. All right, let's take a look at the ensembles. These are the spaghetti plots. First, the ECMWF and the GFS. Both of them do indicate something developing with our Invest 94W. GFS has been stronger on the strength, and I'll get to that in a second. But also GFS kind of pulls us a little bit further towards the north because of that stronger strength. It rounds the WestPac high a bit more quickly and kind of veers back off there towards Okinawa, back towards Kyushu. Last thing Kyushu needs. While the ECMWF, albeit weaker, would be more of a messier storm system for our friends out here into northeastern Luzon as well. So for sure, there's a spectrum of possibilities here that we need to keep an eye on. This is the GFS versus the ECMWF. You kind of get an idea what I'm talking about with that stronger, obviously much stronger. That's showing 970. That would be a typhoon if the GFS had its way, while the ECMWF kind of keeps it more of a tropical depression, not very strong at all. Where do I think this could lie? I think that there is a lot of energy on here. I think that we have above average sea surface temperatures. If it escapes the vertical wind shear we are seeing with that upper level low, it could have the potential of some serious development, at the very least a tropical storm. Has to get initialized and has to get past that shear first, which the ECMWFs, you can see here, really the bulk of the convection stays just towards the east of the center of circulation right in there, and that if we go ahead, it really struggles to overcome that as it moves off towards the north and west, stays relatively weak. One thing I do want to note, though, and you might be thinking, okay, cool, ECMWF has its way, we don't have a storm system to worry about here. Yes and no, because there's the precipitation line for our tropical system, but look down here. This, at the very least, would enhance that monsoonal flow coming in across the Philippines, and thus piling up some pretty decent showers across the west coast of Mindoro, down towards western Visayas, even northwestern Mindanao, and into Palawan by Tuesday and the Wednesday. Darker reds, you can see in the top right of the screen, indicating up and over 50 millimeters. So that would be a pretty decent moisture inflow, and almost at Habagat. Maybe not quite there, but for sure it would increase showers, even if it stayed towards the northeast, and even if it stayed relatively weak for those of you in northwestern Luzon. Now, if we look at kind of this track here rounding the WestPac high and pushing out there towards Taiwan or Okinawa. You can kind of see why I do have confidence this is not going to be a straight west runner. It's because it wants to stay along the western periphery of that high pressure ridge. So if you are in Visayas, southeastern Luzon, not too terribly concerned. I do think this is going to kind of take that west-northwesterly path. If you're in Okinawa, though, this is, I'm not saying it's going to hit you just yet, but I think that you needs to kind of get back in that tropical feel. I know it's been a while. I know August just feels like it was a barren desert of tropical weather. Well, time to get back in that tropical feel because we have that area to watch out here across the Philippine Sea. All right, taking a look at the forecast across Southeast Asia for today, at least here on your Sunday afternoon. Thunderstorms in the forecast. Everybody's high 20s, low 30s. Not much of a surprise there. While we do the flyover of the Philippines, 29 there in Cebu, Tacloban at 29 as well. Afternoon showers, Legazpi at 33 on the hot side. Looking back towards the north, here we go. Iligan at 30, off there towards northern Luzon, 32, Manila, 30 degrees, and afternoon thunderstorms in your forecast. By the way, speaking of Manila, Denver sent this in. Absolutely love it. Fantastic photo. Beautiful sunset. If you guys ever have any great photos you want to share with me, I'll try my best to get them in the update. A lot of you send them in, and not to, you know, make you guys frustrated that I'm not putting in the update. It's just a lot of you put them in, and I usually just kind of pick one or two to share with you guys. Tomorrow I got some from Japan I'm going to share as well, so be sure to check back in tomorrow on top of that. You know, somebody, I've also been getting a lot of good suggestions too. Some people are saying I should share the comment of the day, and I'm thinking about doing that. So yeah, if you guys got any good questions or anything like that, I'll try my best to answer that at the end of tomorrow's update as well. Speaking of, suggestions, one of the people that I take the most suggestions from are you guys at Patreon as well. That monthly, we just actually have a new typhoon that just joined. On top of that, I can't thank you guys enough. This is what makes these graphics possible, because these are, you might notice that for YouTubers, these are TV level graphics, and they are not common at all. And the reason why they're not common is because they're expensive, but you guys on Patreon have helped me out, and plus Metro Weather has been making it possible too, and they kind of got a good deal with me to put these graphics together. So I really got to thank everybody at Metro Weather for helping to make this possible and put everything together. Anyways, I'm going to be done rambling here. It's a lot going on with this area, and of course I'll keep you guys posted. For now, from northeast Luzon, Taiwan to Okinawa, keeping an eye on it. It's still getting its act together. We don't have a track yet. I think once it overcomes that shear with that upper level low, we could be looking at something interesting. As always, stay safe out there.